Um, so, uh, I'm trying, Amber. Recently, I suffered a crippling blow in life, so I'm going to try to get through this without breaking down. Uh, that being said, I dedicate this reading to my mom. Hopefully, she's watching on Facebook and figured it out. And to all the mothers of infantry Marines who see us off and whisper that solemn, quiet prayer, please, Lord, watch over my boy. This is entitled That Sparkle, and I will get. I remember when you were just a little thing, running buck naked in the backyard, not a care in the world. Even when you ran headfirst into the cactus with all that crying, caterwauling, you had the sparkle in your eyes, son. I don't know what it was, but as I said, my oh poor baby, and tried to console you in your pain, that sparkle made me realize, my son, that you were destined for great and beautiful things. Just the loving mother looks upon her grown Marine. He does not answer. Her Marine remains stoic and reserved. Do you remember the time you hit it in the park home run in Little League? There was no reply for the frail, loving mother. No, well, I do. You were so fast turning those little bases. The other parents all looked to me with astonishment as you ran like a West Texas jackrabbit, only to be called out at home plate. I was so upset, as any proud mother would be, but I didn't have to get up and argue. Before I knew, the other parents had stormed the field with the coach, surrounding that poor umpire with a bunch of expletives. The loving mother emits a tiny, tired chuckle into the gray, quiet, troublesome day. You came storming over to the dugout with the maddest little face. All you said to me through the chain link fence was, I was safe, Mama. And there was, that wonderful spark, flashing with an intense little anger, but it persisted. I was so proud of you in that moment, son. I just knew you were destined for great, beautiful things. He does not answer. Her Marine remains stoic and reserved, staring into a dark void that only he can see. The fall nip in the air bites into the frail woman's old bones as she wraps her coat tighter around her small torso. Do you remember your last track meet? Regionals? Her Marine still offers no response. I do. It was one of the few I could get to. You ran the fastest split on the team. I loved watching you run, my son. You were so graceful with your speed, but ran with an unbridled intensity. It was you against everyone who said you couldn't keep up. You loved proving people wrong with your unexpected speed. As your number one supporter, I enjoyed seeing their shocked expressions. You made me so proud. You always made me proud, son. You came off the track beaming, your coach and teammates all patting you on the shoulders. It was then that I saw that sparkle in your eyes. From across the football field, I can never miss my boy Sparkle. My son is destined for great, beautiful things. My only prideful thought. He does not answer. Her Marine remains stoic and reserved. The only way he knows. His bearing never wavers. I remember the night you came and told me you were leaving for the Marine Corps. To you, the older woman looks about, hoping for an answer that does not arrive. No, I was working the night shift at the Postal Center, and the security guard had to come grab me and tell me I had a visitor. It was almost midnight, son. Remember? She pauses for a second, trying to garner the strength to continue the memory. I was so scared as I walked out the front door into the pitch black night, and you were smiling from ear to ear. You felt as if you were answering some deep instinctual calling, a calling no mother can stop, no matter how hard we try. I'm leaving for the Marines. I'm going to make you so proud, Mama. And there was that magnificent sparkle in your eyes, on fire with intense pride. I watched you disappear into the night to become an infantry Marine, and Mother's tears fell in that lonely, dark parking lot, son. I knew then you were destined for great, beautiful, and horrible things. He does not answer. Her Marine remains stoic and reserved, the only way he knows. His emotions vacated long ago. He feels nothing, not even the bitter cold. The day you left the Marines, I thought finally my boy is coming home. You were leaving just in time. The war on terror was beginning for our country. That night you came to visit all those years ago, I knew something was amiss, my son. A mother always knows. You told me the Marines called you back and you were going to war. Every mother's worst fear. My world stopped then, son. I truly didn't know if I'd be able to speak. And then I saw that sparkle in your eyes filled with calling, duty, bravery, and rage. A mother stood no chance against that passion and longing for honor and service. You tried to reassure me that you were too good a squad leader to die and you would be home soon. That sparkle in your eye was a raging forest fire, and it scared me, my son. My only thought was, my son is destined for horrible, brutal things. He does not answer. Her Marine remains stoic and reserved, letting his broken mother's words fill the surrounding air with heavy, solemn confession. You kept your word, my boy. You came home. And yet what came home was not the boy I pulled from the cactus, not my little leaguer, or my track star, and not even my boot camp honor man who never stopped smiling on that graduation day. No, what came home was a tired, worn, reluctant, displaced young man who didn't know if he belonged here in the land of the living or with the fallen warriors left behind on the battlefield. My beautiful boy, aged well beyond his years. Do you remember when your sister and I came to visit when you arrived back at base? There remains nothing but silence from the steadfast Marine. No, we surely do. It was instantaneous. When your sister and I laid our tearful our joyous eyes on you, we froze. Your petrified sister whispered to me, "That's not Jake anymore, Mama." I looked upon you, my son, with all the motherly intuition and love humanly possible, and I saw that sparkle, that glimmer of hope, promise, humor, understanding, and compassion was gone. Your eyes were vacant, cold, and dark. Your sparkle was extinguished by anger, grief, sorrow, and the most damaging regret. I almost died that day, my beautiful boy. My only horrible thought, I have lost my son forever, as I latched onto you for a hug that seemed so forced from you. My son, you wanted no part of being home, and I should have realized then that you will never truly be home. I never saw that bright, gorgeous sparkle in your eyes again. Oh, my baby boy, you did such great and beautiful things. Your men still send me stories of your time together over there. It makes me wonder, did your men ever get to see that joyous sparkle in your eyes, to know your guidance and watch? Under your guidance and watch, they would be okay. Did your sparkle give them solace and courage for what must come next? I hope it did, my son. He does not answer. Our Marine remains stoic and reserved, waiting for his visitor to finish her sentiments, like all others who come to see him. The small, frail older woman then slowly stands, pushing herself up with the assistance of the cold, smooth granite tombstone. She wraps the scarf around her neck tighter to fight off the bitter cold of the day. The doting mother looks down lovingly at the military grave marker. Then she rests her fragile, bony hand atop the chiseled memorial. Her tears fall upon the hardy stone and shimmer in the pale light. I hope you found your sparkle again and are seeing such great, beautiful things. Rest easy, my son.